Madam President. I express solidarity with the nationals of the Caribbean who are going through Hurricane Melissa. Madam President, Namibia takes the floor in explanation of the vote before the vote on the draft resolution before us. The year 2025 marks 66 years since the friendly government and people of the Republic of Cuba have been under the inhuman and unilateral economic, financial, and commercial blockade by the United States. This blockade is contrary to international law and the Charter of the United Nations, which was created to, amongst others, develop friendly relations amongst nations based on the respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, and to take other appropriate measures to strengthen universal peace. Peace is exactly what the government and the brave people of Cuba brought to Namibia when they fought side by side with the people of Namibia for our independence. During our struggle, Namibian refugees were also welcomed in Cuba, many of whom returned to build our country and helped to chart the way for our development. However, to date, the right to development of the people of Cuba continues to be curtailed through the imposed unilateral coercive measures by the world's most largest economy. The importation of food, equipment, and other essential material in Cuba is severely curtailed, affecting the ability of Cuba to effectively engage in global trade. Notwithstanding all the challenges the Cuban people have had to face and endure over all these years, they are a resilient people. Cuba has spared no efforts in contributing to the welfare of millions of people around the world through its selfless contributions in so many cases where natural disasters and adversity had struck, or through science, technology advancement, training, and capacity building, support to the international community, and the deployment of medical professionals, and much of the world, of the developing world. Madam President, in his State of the Nation Union address to Congress on 20th January 2015, the former President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, called on lawmakers to lift the embargo against Cuba, stating in his own words, and I quote, "In Cuba, we are ending a policy that was long past its expiration date. When what you are doing doesn't work for 50 years, it's time to try something new. And our shift in Cuba policy has the potential to end a legacy of mistrust in our hemisphere. It removes a phony excuse for restrictions in Cuba," end of quote. This statement is still valid today. However, since June 2017, during the first term of the current President of the United States, measures against Cuba were tightened. This embargo is not only a bilateral issue between Cuba and the United States of America, as we are made to believe. It hinders and affects international cooperation with Cuba. In this 80th year of existence of the United Nations, we call on all good officers of the Secretary General and the United Nations to facilitate dialogue between these two countries with the hope of reversing these restrictions while working towards the normalization of relations between the two countries. Finally, Madam President, we call for the removal of Cuba from the list of state sponsors of terrorism as a sign towards improving relations between the two countries. Namibia will not deviate from voting in favor of this resolution, and we invite other member states to do the same in solidarity with the people of Cuba. I thank you.
I thank the Speaker of Namibia. We have heard the last speaker in explanation of vote before the vote. The Assembly will now take a decision on draft resolution